Also, tell me about Like a Virgin. Was that one of your first massive hits?
It was my first number one hit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good story behind that song.
Let's start at the beginning.
The beginning.
Yeah, how did it begin?
Okay.
How did you come up with the words?
I was working at that time on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
My father was a grape grower.
Mm.
I used to get a lot of ideas for songs while I was working on the farm.
Mm-hmm.
And in my personal life, somehow managed to extricate myself from a very difficult relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found myself writing, I made it through the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow I made it through. I didn't know how lost I was until I found you, meaning a new person. I was beat, incomplete. I'd been had. I was sad and blue. But you made me feel shiny and new, like a virgin.
Touched for the very first time.
Yeah.
It's so
but
good.
that's how the title came out.
Yeah.
I didn't start with the title. I wrote the line shiny and new, and that triggered like a virgin.
Yeah, it's great.
It actually tells a very personal story from my life. When I got together with Tom to write the music, the way I recited it to you now, I made it through the wilderness. Somehow I made it through. It had a serious aspect to it.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept trying to write sort of almost like a ballad to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept saying, Tom, this is not going to work. Because when you get to the lyric, the title,
Yeah.
like a virgin, you can't have a ballad.
No.
It's got to be fun. And he was quite frustrated. And we had a Jupiter 8 synthesizer. And he started playing the bass line. It's a little bit like Billie Jean.
Yes.
And it's also a little bit like I Can't Help Myself. You know, the Sugar Pie Honey Bunch.
Yeah. Sugar pie. Huh?
Yeah, it's like those two songs. And then he started singing, I made it through. I got this hoarse voice. I can't sing right now. So he started singing the verse. And as soon as he was singing it, and he sang it falsetto,
Mm-hmm.
I said, that's it. And he goes, what? Because we had been writing rock and roll songs.
Mm-hmm.
And we hadn't really completed anything that was vaguely soul or R&B. But when he sang, you know, like a Motown kind of thing with
Mm-hmm.
Like a Virgin, it just felt right.
Yeah.
And so we made a demo, and we got it to Michael Austin at Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that would be perfect for Madonna. And she loved it.
And you're like,
Yeah. Well,
and then when you heard the first demo or the first recording with her on it, how did you feel?
I don't know. I knew it was going to be a big hit.
Yeah.
I knew it would be.
It's the best feeling.
I have demos for all the songs like a Virgin.
Cool. Yeah. And then, did you meet Madonna?
I did meet Madonna once in my life, and she wasn't particularly friendly.
Tell me that story.
Madonna had a manager, a guy called Freddie DeMann,
Mm-hmm.
and it was his birthday party. And so Tom Kelly and I were outdoors at Freddie's house
Yeah.
at the party, and we were talking to Stephen Bray.
Uh-huh.
And Stephen Bray had been Madonna's co-writer
Mm-hmm.
on the song Into the Groove.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw Madonna walk out of the house, I thought, wow, this is a perfect opportunity to meet her.
Yeah.
Because we're here with Stephen. And she was with Warren Beatty.
Mm-hmm.
That was her boyfriend at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they walked over to us. And Stephen said, Madonna, this is Tom Kelly and Billy Steinberg who wrote Like a Virgin.
Mm-hmm.
And Warren Beatty started to laugh because I think he must have thought, well, she must know us.
Yeah.
If we wrote Like a Virgin, why are we getting introduced to her?
Yeah.
And I said to her, Madonna, I've wanted to meet you for so long. And she just said, well, now you did, and walked away.
That is so cruel. So when we wrote, we had a song, Don't Hold Your Breath, that we wrote, and you told me that story back then. A year later, I was in the studio with Madonna for 5 weeks, and we worked on her Rebel Heart album. And I spoke to her. I was sitting at the piano with her, and I said, Madonna, there is this writer, Billy Steinberg. He wrote one of your biggest hits, Like a Virgin. And he told me this very cruel story. And I recounted that story. And I said, look, I'm going to call Billy now and pass the phone to you, and you will apologize. And she was like, no, I'm not doing it. I was like, Madonna, come on. What's wrong? Do it. She refused. She did not want to. She was like, I don't know, there's a side in her that's very standoffish, and she enjoys too.
It would have been funny if I'd have got that phone call.
I know. But that would have been the right thing.
Anyway, at the end of the day, what matters most is that it was a mega hit, and it launched my songwriting career, and Tom Kelly and I as hit songwriters. And it also established Madonna as a huge star.
That's true.